We got game one of the Phillies versus Padres series tonight. The late game being played in San Diego. Also a fun rematch of the 2022 NLCS. Obviously, we all know the Phillies won that. The Phillies, after two brutal games in San Francisco, were able to exercise a little bit of demons in that last game. I mean, they put up 13 runs. They shut out the Giants. They did manage to win one game of that series. We also managed to have some success in that game as well. We only had one prediction in that game, one player prop. Kyle Schwarber to hit a home run. He came through in like the top of the eighth inning with the home run, so we were able to cash that out. Hopefully you guys tailed that one. As for tonight, we got Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies. The Padres, a little bit of an unknown. We know that Ryan Berger is going to open the game. Unsure of how long he's going to go or if it's going to end up being a bullpen game or anything like that. We're going to talk about all that. But before we get into our favorite player props for tonight, just make sure to go to BetMGM, use promo code CROSSING to get started, to get in on the action. You're going to want to take advantage of the sign-up offers on BetMGM, again, using the promo code CROSSING. Now we can get right into it. So the first play that we are going to lock in here, probably could have guessed it, we're taking Bryce Harper to hit a home run, which you can get at plus 300 odds at BetMGM. Now, Bryce, he has had an up and down year overall. Obviously, he missed a decent amount of time with a wrist injury, came back, had not done much at the plate since he had returned from injury. Everything changed in that last game against the Giants. He presumably came out of that slump in just a massive, massive way. If that game was played in any other stadium except for the Giants' home stadium in San Francisco, where home runs go to die, Bryce could have easily hit 3 home runs in that game. He just absolutely destroyed the baseball. He had 4 hard hits total, but it goes a lot deeper than that. He had, in order of exit velocity, 111 miles per hour off the bat, 379 foot double. Then he had a 107.3 miles per hour off the bat, 402 foot double. Then he had a 105.7 miles per hour off the bat exit velocity, 380 foot home run. And then he had a double that was 98.8 miles per hour off the bat. Those 4 in one game is just astronomical. It's insane. Whatever adjective you want to use to describe it is not going to be good enough to describe what Bryce Harper did to the baseball in that game. That would have been Wednesday. 4 extra base hits, 1 home run, 3 doubles, 3 hits. Not only 3 hits above 100 miles an hour, but 3 that were at least hit 379 feet. I mean, it's truly remarkable stuff. And we all know the type of hitter that Bryce can be when he's seeing the ball well at the plate. He even said after the game, and he didn't want to sound cocky, but he said, I know what type of player that I'm capable of. I know what I can be when I'm feeling good. So it's nice to see Bryce get in a groove last game after not hitting well prior to that. Now, they had a day off. You hope that he's able to keep that form for today. As far as the pitching matchup goes, I mentioned it's a little bit of an unknown of what to expect from the Padres. I mentioned before Ryan Berger is pitching he's listed as a starting pitcher. Last start, he went 3 innings. He has been used as a starter over the last month or so. Prior to that, he was used as a bullpen arm. He's had some starts going 5 innings. Recently, his last start, he gave up 3 runs, went 3 innings. So not 100% sure how long he's going to be in the game. So I don't want to spend too much time going into the pitching matchup or anything like that. I'm really just backing Bryce in what's hopefully just the start of a heater for him. So that is play number 1, Bryce Harper to hit a home run at plus 300 odds at BetMGM. Next up, we're going to transition into another player who's hitting the ball well, JT Realmuto. We're going to take him 2+ bases, plus 135 odds at BetMGM. Don't quite trust the home run for JT, but I do want to back him for the basis prop, and I like the price at plus 135. Now, JT definitely did not have as good of a day at the plate as Bryce Harper did, not even close. But one thing that they did both do, 4 hard hits. Bryce had 4 hard hits. JT also had 4 hard hits in that last game against the Giants. He was 3 for 5 at the plate. He had 1 double, 2 singles, so 4 total bases for JT in his last game. The double he hit was 102 miles per hour off the bat, so pretty healthy number. And then the other 3 hard hits were 97 miles per hour or faster. So again, not really comparing him to Bryce because what Bryce did is just on a whole nother level. But that's still a really good day at the plate for JT. Now you look at him on the year, definitely having a down year overall heading into a contract, or this is the contract year for JT. But we have seen him go on stretches, little mini stretches, where he's hitting the ball well, where he's seeing the ball well. So we're kind of hoping to catch him in the middle of a stretch like that. Again, he had 4 hard hits in the last game. He had 1 hard hit prior to that, which is obviously not amazing, but it's not like he's been ice cold. Obviously, the same situation regarding the starting pitching matchup. Unsure how long the Padres starter is going to go. So this is kind of similar to Bryce, and where we're just backing, hopefully, a hot batter. But with JT, we're playing it a little bit safer, going with the 2+ bases instead of the home run. So that is our second pick of the video. And our third and final play today, we're going to go with Ranger Suarez, and we're taking him under 5.5 hits allowed, which you can get at -125 odds. Again, BetMGM Sportsbook. Now, looking at this matchup, I definitely wanted to find a way to back Ranger. Ranger's been so good this year. You take out that first start, it's got among the best numbers in all of baseball. The Padres are not a good offense against left-handed pitching, but what makes this a little bit scary backing Ranger is we have no idea how long he's going to go in the game. Topper took him out early in his last start, said it wasn't injury related. They're just trying to keep him fresh because we know how he wore down at the end of last year. So they're trying to be a little bit safer with the number of pitches, number of innings that he throws, and then also taking into account that the All-Star break is coming up so we can get extended rest during that stretch. So taking his under hits allowed, it's the best of both worlds. We're backing Ranger and, under hits allowed, or taking an under for hits allowed, expecting him to not give up a ton of hits. But this also could help us if he does not pitch that long in the game. He gets taken out at 5 innings, much more likely he goes under 5.5 innings pitched. If he does go 6 to 7 innings, it's probably because he pitched well, so could easily still go under this number. So I did feel like this was a good way, again, best of both worlds. Another way I will say to back Ranger in a similar logic is to take his under 1.5 earned runs. You can actually get a better price on that at +125 at BetMGM. So similar logic of backing Ranger while not taking an over, like over outs or strikeouts or anything like that. But I felt as though the hit prop was the better play. Obviously, the odds do reflect that. So kind of depending on your risk tolerance, it's kind of interchangeable to go with the hits allowed and the earned runs. Now, regarding the hit prop, that's where we're going to do the majority of our analysis. Rangers made 12 starts this year. He's gone and basically he's allowed under 5.5 hits in 8 of those 12 starts. And it's really 8 of his last 11 because that first start, he didn't pitch a ton. He got hit up pretty badly in that start. But since then, he's been awesome. Again, 8 of 11 starts. And he's also held teams to under this number in 6 straight games as well. So even before last start, where he did have the short leash taken out after 5 innings, he did give up 5 hits. So you figure if he went longer, he probably would have allowed 1 more hit. So take that with a grain of salt. Still been holding teams consistently under this number. And even if he does go long into the game, he pitches 7 innings. Guess what? He's pitched 7 innings 7 times this year. Only once did he allow 6 or more hits in those starts, and he allowed exactly 6 in that start. That start was his 3rd start of the season. He's been fantastic. Just a bunch of ways to tell you how good Ranger has been, and I'm expecting that to continue in this one. He's allowing batters hit 211 against him, 1.03 whip. Just fantastic stuff across the board. Now, you look at the Padres, they did get to a lefty yesterday. Much worse lefty starter than Ranger Suarez. And you look at the Padres as a team. They only have 1 batter that has an ISO rate above 200 against left-handed pitching. That's Manny Machado. Now, Manny definitely hits lefties hard. I'm not taking away anything from that. Nobody else on the Padres does. And you look at the last 30 days, it's still true that only 1 batter has an ISO rate above 200 against lefties. But that's not even Manny Machado. It's actually Jake Cronenworth, who's a left-handed hitter. And despite Ranger giving up a home run to a lefty last start, basically unhittable against left-handed hitters. So the 1 batter that consistently hits lefties hard is not even hitting them that well recently. So I think, again, there are a ton of reasons to go with the under on the hits allowed for Ranger. The Padres as a team, slightly below average batting average against left-handed pitching. They're at like 241 on the year. That's 16th. If you look at, that's on the year. If you look at since May 1st, they're like 17th. So they're not among the worst. They're definitely not among the best. And we're back in Ranger to pitch a good game tonight. I love this play, the under 5.5 hits allowed. And that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Remember, we're talking Bryce Harper to hit a home run plus 300 odds, JT Realmuto 2+ bases, +135, and Ranger Suarez, under 5.5 hits allowed, all offered on BetMGM. Go to BetMGM, use promo code CROSSING to sign up. Again, thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Make sure to bet responsibly, and have a good one. Must be 21 or older in participating states. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See terms and conditions in the description of the video.